If you can dream it, we can plan it. Oh, where do you want to go? Just let me know. Magic moments, far off oceans. We're chasing sunsets, chasing hope. Pack your bags, we'll handle the rest. With dreams and destinations, we're chasing the best. Your imagination, our inspiration, will take you coast to coast, no hesitation. Like dreams and destinations. Oh, oh, oh.
Hello and welcome to Dreams and Destinations, a travel podcast brought to you by the agents of a Dream and a Wish Travel Co. I'm your host, Ashlyn, aka the Duchess of Disney, and I'm flying solo today, friends. My partner in podcasting, the supremely stupendous travel whiz Liz, is MIA because, life happens. Our dear Liz she's going through it right now, and her life is a little turned upside down. So she's taken the week off, which she needs and deserves. And I know I speak for everyone when I say, Liz, we adore you, and we hope everything is all sunshine and rainbows. Now, party people, since Travel Wiz Liz is absent, that means we will be postponing part 2 of our quick service dining chat until the troops are better rested. Instead, today I will be doing a little mini cast for you. I am fresh off of an incredible weekend, y'all. My husband and I went to the Netherlands versus Sweden World Cup game, and my gosh, what an unreal experience that was. It was insane. It's hard to put into words. I have been to my fair share of major sporting events, everything from college sports to NFL games, MLB games, pro golf matches to the literal Olympics. And I have to say, the World Cup is it's in a league of its own in terms of the energy and just that hyped up atmosphere. It was really, really wild and crazy. It was quite something. Are Sparky and I already planning a trip to the 2030 World Cup in Spain, Portugal, and Morocco? Why, yes. Yes, we are. But I digress. Let's get into the goods. On today's podcast, I thought it would be fun to chat with you all about the extra special, super magical, groundbreaking, upcoming new things headed to Walt Disney World, from delicious new dining experiences and innovative new attractions to a breathtaking new resort and electrifying new lands. Walt Disney World continues to grow, and we've got the 411 on all the magic to come, so let's get into it. And let's jump right in to something that I am personally so super duper stoked and thrilled about: 4 new lands. That's right, my friends. Walt Disney World is expanding with 4 new lands. And of course, these are the biggest projects currently underway at Walt Disney World. Now, 2 of these lands are headed straight for Magic Kingdom. Number 1, first up, Piston Peak. This is Disney World's brand new 4-ish acre Cars themed land. And it is going to be smack dab in the center of Frontierland, kind of on the fringe of Liberty Square in Magic Kingdom. It's going to be right out in front of Tiana's Bayou Adventure and Thunder Mountain. Now, if I'm being perfectly honest, I will forever be a little salty over the fact that they had to bulldoze Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island and Nick's the Ferry Boat in order to make way for Lightning McQueen and company. I'm a little salty over that. That whole area just really holds a special place in my heart. But I am certain, without a doubt, that Cars Land will be absolutely fantastic. Ka-chow. Now, a lot of Disney fans will know that Disneyland in California opened up a Cars themed land in 2012. And that is based on the Pixar Cars franchise. And the Cars Land in Disney's California Adventure it's just crazy popular. It's really, really darling. It's themed after Radiator Springs, which is the little town on Route 66 where the majority of the Cars film takes place. Now, when Disney was like, okay, we're setting our sights on creating a Cars Land in Walt Disney World, they didn't want to just copy and paste what they had already done in Disneyland. So instead of Radiator Springs atmosphere, they've created Piston Peak National Park. I think this is going to be really pretty. As salty as I am over the whole Rivers of America being gone, I am really excited about this. I think it's going to be gorgeous, honestly. The vibe is supposed to be themed after the Rocky Mountains. It's supposed to feature waterfalls and geysers. Of course, there's like the mountainous terrain. I assume we're getting some snowy covered mountain peaks. And like I said, it's only about 4.5 acres in size. So to put that in perspective, Liberty Square, which is right next door, is about 10 acres. So this is going to be significantly smaller, but we do know, of course, that Disney Imagineers are absolute pros at packing a whole lot of magic into itty bitty tiny spaces. And they are giving us 2 new attractions in this space. One of them is going to be an off-roading adventure where you get to ride inside of a Cars vehicle of some kind, similar to the Radiator Springs Racers experience in California Adventure. The other ride is going to be some sort of kid-friendly attraction for the smaller guests. Now, as far as shopping and dining options go in this area, that remains to be seen. I'm sure we will get some sort of quick service option or at least some snack carts, maybe like a counter service location for food. Unclear. But we do know we will be getting some sort of food and potentially some sort of shopping. I would assume that we'll get at least one Cars centered gift shop. It's Disney World. There's a gift shop everywhere you look. Now, because of the smaller size, Cars Land will actually be considered part of Frontierland. It won't be its own land. Similar to what happened with the Magic Kingdom expansion, the Fantasyland expansion in Magic Kingdom that we got in 2012, where we had the addition of Storybook Circus and the whole Beauty and the Beast area, the Little Mermaid ride, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. We got all of that, but they are all inside of Fantasyland. They're not their own land. So Piston Peak will technically be a section of Frontierland. Now I know you're asking, Ashlyn, hey, when is this new land going to open? We have no idea. We don't. Disney is keeping that under wraps, mostly because they don't want to project something and then their timeline goes out the window and then we're all cranky about it. So my personal best guess, and this is pure conjecture, is that it will open sometime at the very, 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 very earliest 2028, maybe early 2029. And that's the extreme earliest. Because remember, they're building all of this from scratch. They had to literally level an entire area of Magic Kingdom to rebuild. So we'll see what happens. Moving on. Now, of all of the current forecasted projects that are currently occurring at Walt Disney World, this next one is what I am hands down, without a doubt, most excited for. This new land is also going to call Magic Kingdom home, and it will be located behind Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. And it is, drumroll please, brrr, a villain's land. Can you even? I cannot tell you when I have been more excited about a project at Walt Disney World. Probably Galaxy's Edge. That's the last time I've been this like overwhelmingly excited. This is utter genius. This is perfection. This is going to be absolutely incredible. And I think it's long overdue. I think we are well overdue for something villains centered in this big way. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about this the other day. I remember my senior year of high school back in 2008. I'm aging myself here. There was a rumor going around that Disney was going to open up a new park, and they were going to call it Night Kingdom. Does anybody else remember this? It may have been a fever dream. I don't know. But there was a rumor going around back in like 2008 that they were going to open up a new park called Night Kingdom. And word on the street was that it was going to be very Disney villains focused. So Villains Land at Magic Kingdom may be inspired, at least in some part, by the residual rumblings of that would-be villains-themed Night Kingdom from days of yore, from almost 20 years ago. And what a genius idea this is. I mean, the Disney Villains, that franchise is one of the most well-loved and popular franchises. And I'm shocked that it has taken this long to bring villains to the park in such a big way. So, we obviously need to discuss the ambiance and the theme. When you look at the concept art of this area, it is incredibly apparent that Maleficent is the star of the show. She is the sort of overarching vibe of the land, as she should be. As she should be. She is, after all, the self-proclaimed mistress of all evil. So, of course, she should be Queen of Villains Land. And one look at this artwork, and it's very clear. You're like, oh, obviously, yes, this is very Maleficent vibes. Now, personally, when I look at the artwork, I also get notes of like Hades and Ursula, and you can see Maleficent's castle in the background, but there's also another sort of dilapidated mansion or castle in the background that could be Cruella de Vil vibes, maybe. There's a lot happening in the concept art. Now, let us remember that it is only concept art. Disney likes to change their minds very frequently. So what we are seeing in the current concept art is not necessarily what we are going to get when this all comes to fruition. We know that Imagineers are constantly rethinking, reimagining, innovating as they go along, as they are in the middle of the creation process. So the current rumor on the street, and again, this is just a rumor, is that Imagineers were actually told to sort of rethink the direction that they are taking with some of the rides and potential shows and dining experiences. And personally, I think this has a lot to do with the fans. I think it is Imagineers and the higher ups going online and seeing the fans voicing their opinions and their wants and their hopes. For example, we know that there's going to be some sort of roller coaster in the new Villains Land. And originally, we all assumed it was going to be a Maleficent-inspired roller coaster based on the concept art. But now, there are whispers that it could potentially be an Emperor's New Groove-themed coaster featuring Yzma and Kronk, and inspired by the pull the lever, Kronk, wrong lever, that scene, inspired by that scene. And I am 99.9% sure that Imagineers are only entertaining that idea because it's gotten so much traction online in Disney fan forums. And again, all of that is total conjecture. There's a lot of rumors floating around online, especially about this land, because people are so excited. And I think a lot of it is wishful thinking, but I do think some of it is probably is probably spot on. So here's what we know for certain. Disney has confirmed that 13 different villains are going to be serving as inspiration for the land, which means we can expect to see nods to these villains throughout the area and likely interactions with these characters themselves in some capacity. And these villains include Queen of Hearts, Jafar, Lady Tremaine, Yzma, Cruella de Vil, Captain Hook, Gaston, Mother Gothel, who else? I'm forgetting. Ursula, Hades, Maleficent, Evil Queen from Snow White, and last but not least, Chernabog, which is that giant demon dude guy that pops out of a mountain in Phantasmic. That bro, he's going to be there too. So it's likely that we'll see allusions to them all over the place in the ambiance, in the architecture, etc. And here's what we know about the architecture. Disney has stated that the architecture is supposed to be very Art Nouveau, which I think is a really beautiful, elegant, and sort of interesting twist for the villains. Because I think the villains, after all, honestly, are very, very quite regal. So this style, the Art Nouveau style, I think really suits them very well. Now, we also know that there's going to be a roller coaster and some sort of either boat ride or dark ride situation. And again, we haven't the slightest clue as to what the theme of these rides will be. Right now, it is just a lot of speculation and zero confirmation. And we also know that we're going to get shopping in this area and some food. One thing that your girl is really looking forward to is the new Villains sit-down table service restaurant. Liz and I chatted about this in a previous episode. We would love to see this restaurant be a character dining experience with villains. I mean, come on. How amazing would that be? And maybe, again, this is wishful thinking, but it would be insane. And one rumor currently going around that I can definitely get on board with is that there will be a dinner show at this restaurant featuring Hades from Hercules. I would be so on board with this, like totally and completely. I'm a sucker for any type of dinner theater anyway. So this would be utter perfection in my book. I think it would be so great. So anyway, that's Villains Land. The huge bummer here is that Villains Land likely will not open until probably 2030, 2031 at the earliest, which is a dagger to the heart because I am so excited for this. And again, the timeline is a total guess, but this is going to be a massive undertaking for Disney, similar to the addition of Galaxy's Edge. Villains Land is going to be about 14 acres in size, and they have to build everything from scratch. So we're just going to have to be patient. The great news is that we do not have to be nearly as patient for the next two lands that we're going to talk about because these are opening much, much sooner. Let's pop over to Hollywood Studios. We are getting Monstropolis, which is, of course, the Monsters, Inc. themed land. Super stoked for this one. It's one of my favorite Pixar movies. And the whole premise behind this Monstropolis land is that Monstropolis, the monsters of Monstropolis, have created a day where humans are welcome into the monster world for a celebration that they are calling Human Day. Where human, Human, is an acronym that stands for Humans Understand Monsters Are Nice. Human Day. Silly and adorable. This is exactly what we would expect from a Monsters, Inc. themed land. And here in Monstropolis, we are going to get Mike and Sully meet and greets, and there are rumors that we could get other monster interactions. I'm really pulling for Celia. We could get Randall, or please, for the love of all that is Disney, can we please get Roz? She would be completely hilarious. Can you imagine? A Roz, either a Roz sort of like free roaming animatronic or character just slugging herself around that whole area? It would be chef's kiss. It would be so good. We are also getting the Globe Theater, which is a nod to Shakespeare's Globe Theater. Globe. Very clever. And this is replacing the former Muppet Vision 3D theater space. R.I.P. I may never recover from that loss. But I digress. Of course, there will be a show here in the Globe, and we know it's going to be mixed media, but that's really all of the info that we have right now. So moving on from the Globe, something I am personally very stoked about, Harryhausen's. If you have seen the OG Monsters, Inc. film, you know that there is a Japanese sushi hibachi style restaurant that Mike takes Celia to out on a date, and it's called Harryhausen's, a fun little play on words, a fun little nod to Benihana. And Disney has confirmed, y'all, that we will be getting the iconic sushi restaurant Harryhausen's as a real table service dining location in Monstropolis. And I live for this. I am so excited. I'm equally excited about the new roller coaster. Now, if you've listened to the show, y'all know that my stomach is not the steel trap that it once was when I was younger. And roller coasters tend to like do me in, but you better believe I will be riding the new Monsters, Inc. coaster. It just looks too incredible not to ride. And you've likely seen the concept videos of this floating around online. The whole idea behind it is that you are flying through the infamous door warehouse scene from the first Monsters, Inc. film. And I just have a feeling that this is going to be mind-blowing. This is Disney's first suspended coaster. So your feet are going to be dangling while you ride. I am so excited for this. I think it's going to be fantastic. An opening date for Monstropolis is somewhere between 2027 and 2028. No concrete date yet, but the good news is that construction is already well underway. So that's very exciting. Okay, let's pop over to Animal Kingdom for our last new land that is coming to Walt Disney World, Tropical Americas. Disney has officially announced a 2027 opening for Tropical Americas, which we love to hear. This is right around the corner. And again, this area is already under major construction. Now, we did have to say adios to Dino Land USA, which, let me be frank, I am not sad about in the slightest. I'm not mad about it. We are getting some really amazing new things here. 3 new rides, as a matter of fact. Tropical Americas will feature a little carousel with dozens of beautifully carved animal characters from various Disney films that the kiddos can ride on. And if you look at the concept art, it shows Timon and Pumbaa, Kaa, the boa constrictor from Jungle Book, Bambi, some Finding Nemo characters, Abu from Aladdin, Eeyore's on there. There's just a whole slew, a whole plethora, a menagerie of animals, if you will, from various Disney films. I think it's going to be absolutely darling. Tropical Americas is also going to be home to a new Encanto-inspired attraction. So excited. And guests will be able to visit Casita and will also visit Antonio's magical rainforest room full of tropical animals and the Madrigal family characters from the movie. This is going to be wildly popular. I already know it. This is going to be akin to like the Frozen ride in Epcot. Lines are just going to be insane all the time. I just know this. I just know. Now, here's the big one. Or at least I think this is the big one. We are finally getting an Indiana Jones ride. Disneyland has had their epic Indiana Jones adventure ride for over 30 years. It is so amazing. I love that ride. And it is about darn time that we got our own version at Walt Disney World. I have all the faith in the world that this is going to be a showstopper. It just is. I know it. It's taking the place of the dinosaur ride. And they're essentially using dinosaurs' already existing ride system and redoing the space for Indy. So instead of being chased by dinosaurs, now you're going on a thrill ride alongside Indiana Jones, and it's all taking place inside of a Mayan temple. It's going to be really cool. I cannot wait for this one. And of course, in this new area, we are getting a little shopping, a little dining in tropical Americas. There is a hacienda-style quick service restaurant that will be replacing Restaurantosaurus. Fingers crossed that it will be delicious. So those are our new lands, our 4 new lands in a nutshell. Now, very briefly, let me just give you a rundown of Walt Disney World's other new projects. And I will start with the brand new Disney Vacation Club Resort coming to the Magic Kingdom area. It is called Disney's Lakeshore Lodge. This is a deluxe category vacation club resort. And it was originally announced all the way back in 2018. And it was supposed to open in 2022. But chaos and COVID ensued. So here we are with a very hopeful, fingers crossed, opening date of summer 2027. And this gorgeous new resort is located on the south side of Bay Lake, smack dab between Wilderness Lodge and Fort Wilderness. So in keeping with that outdoorsy nature vibe, Lakeshore Lodge is going to be very nature inspired. From the looks of the concept art, it appears that it's going to be a little bit more modern craftsman style than the log cabin lodge feel of Wilderness Lodge. But I think it looks really cool. I'm really excited to see it in person when it finally opens. And Disney has announced that the theming is going to include subtle nods to classic Disney-centric or Disney like nature-centric films like Bambi, Pocahontas, Brother Bear, The Princess and the Frog. We also know that there will be 967 new rooms ranging from studios to suites. And those rooms, a lot of those rooms, not all of them, but a lot of those rooms are going to have views of Bay Lake, which of course should be beautiful. Plus, the resort will also offer 1 and 2 bedroom lake houses along the waterfront. And Disney recently released concept art of the pool area, which they are calling the wetlands. And this whole area is inspired by Pocahontas. There's going to be a lazy river, splash pad for the kiddos, slides, and a whole lot more. It looks really impressive. Like the art looks insane. So just totally excited to see Lakeshore Lodge finally come to fruition, hopefully next summer. Moving on to something that I am admittedly quite nervous about, Carousel of Progress. This is one of my favorite attractions of all time, one that Walt Disney himself had a major hand in creating. And they're changing it up big time, you guys. At the top of the show, we will be getting a Walt Disney animatronic introducing the attraction. Now, this part I'm actually over the moon about. I'm super stoked for a Walt Disney animatronic. I think it's going to be amazing. But I'm so nervous because they are changing all of the scenes in the show. So now we are going to see late summer of 1969 featuring the moon landing. We are going to see Halloween in the 1980s. We are going to see New Year's Eve 1999 featuring the whole Y2K scare, which I'm not necessarily sure I want to relive. And then in the final scene, we will see a distant future, in quotations, distant future, somewhere off of planet Earth. And I'm just having a lot of feelings about all of this. I'm having a lot of feelings. So we'll move on before I burst into tears. The only thing I take solace in is knowing that they are keeping the theme song, There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. And the attraction as we know it officially closes on July 6th for its lengthy reimagining, and it will reopen, fingers crossed, hopefully sometime in 2027. Okay, next up. Over at Hollywood Studios, there's a lot of stuff happening over there. First, we have the Walt Disney Studios, which Disney is calling a quote unquote new land in Hollywood Studios. And the whole area is inspired by the Walt Disney Animation Studios in Burbank, California. Now, in this area, we've got Little Mermaid, the musical adventure, which opened last year, plus Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Live, which opened last month. And this is a live action, interactive, 20-minute stage show featuring Mickey and friends. Absolutely darling. So great for the littles. Also in this area, opening later this summer, is the Magic of Disney Animation. And this building, this is inside of where Star Wars Launch Bay used to be. So everything that I'm about to describe to you is inside this Magic of Disney Animation building. And the whole thing, the whole building and everything inside is dedicated to the craft of animation. I'm really excited about this because this sort of harkens back to the original MGM studio days where everything was very much like, ooh, movie magic. Very excited about this. Inside, you're going to find a collection of incredible experiences. Drawn to Wonderland is a play area for the little kiddos ages 6 months to 5 years. And it is inspired by Alice in Wonderland, of course. Then there's an area called Off the Page, where you can meet some of your favorite Disney characters, including Mulan, Rapunzel, Chip and Dale, Donald and Daisy Duck, Goofy, and Stitch. And this whole area, this whole character meet and greet area, takes you through the key stages of the animation process, which I think is a really cool concept. There will also be a new attraction called Olaf Draws. This is going to be a really fun one. An animatronic Olaf will play host to guests as they learn to draw some new, some fan favorite Disney characters. And your animation teachers in this experience are going to be legit Disney animators that have worked on Disney films. So I think this one's going to be really rad. You'll also find inside of this building Once Upon a Studio Theater, where you can watch a film about the history of animation. Plus, there will be art galleries and just all kinds of other fun and interesting things to look at. Now, a quick jump over to Disney Springs, where Level 99 is opening this summer. This is basically a glorified playground for teens and adults. As far as I can gather, it is not for the littles. This is for big kids. This is for your teenagers and for adults. And Level 99 is going to house over 60 life-size mini games and challenge rooms, which sounds interesting. And before I wrap up, let us not forget that there have been a lot of new and refurbished attractions that have recently opened or reopened. Bluey's Wild World is officially open in Animal Kingdom. The new and improved Thunder Mountain and the reimagined Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin have both reopened in Magic Kingdom. Soarin' Across America is open in Epcot for a very limited time, so make sure you get over to see that. And the new Mandalorian and Grogu overlay at Smuggler's Run is now open, which I cannot wait to see. So lots of incredible new things and plenty more exciting new things to look forward to in the future. And one more reminder before I go, Disney just dropped dates for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party at Magic Kingdom. So if you are interested in spending the most wonderful time of the year in Disney World, please reach out to us to start planning ASAP. It is never too early, my friends. All right, well, that's all for today. Thanks for hanging out with me. I will be on vacation for the next 2-ish weeks in Michigan, so I won't be seeing you on the podcast. But never fear, I will return in mid-July. And the one and only Travel Wiz Liz will be back next week. She's going to be joined by some very special guests over the next 2 weeks while I'm gone. So that is something very exciting for everybody to look forward to. As always, please follow and subscribe to Dreams and Destinations on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. And remember, new episodes drop every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So come back and see us next week for more. Plus, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Dreams and Destinations Podcast. And don't forget to follow A Dream and a Wish Travel Co. on social media. You can visit our agency website or any of our Instagrams to request a vacation quote. Of course, the links are in the show notes just for you. Thanks again for tuning in, and come back next week when Liz will be joined by some special guests for a Disney Dads episode. And I can promise it's going to be a hilarious one. We'll see you later. I'll see you in a few weeks. So TTFN, ta-ta for now.